Welcome back, everyone. So if you're a new person coming to my channel, thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to go over a quick tutorial that I went over a little bit ago, just kind of revamp it, make it look a little nicer, a little newer, with a better mic, obviously. So I do have the new mic, which is great. So we're going to go over how to reverse proxy Caddy, and we're going to do this with Windows, and we're also going to set it up on the Cloudflare. So let's get started. First, I do have a docs website, so let me go to that. So this is my docs site. This will have all the stuff that important or whatever. If you need to do any of my tutorials, I have example caddy files as well, and Docker examples for certain repositories. If you want to run a Docker image or a compose, I have those. All my caddy examples are on here, along with multiple subdomains. So that's kind of cool. I also have a Discord if you guys ever want to join. It's right here. It's my Discord. So if you guys ever have questions, comments, concerns, the link will always be in the description if you guys need so. Let me pull up my Discord hold on so you can see it. And all my Discords, I'm usually lurking around here quite often. So if you ever have any trouble or concerns, feel free to jump out and reach out to me on there. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is obviously get our Caddy executable. So we'll go to caddyserver.com and go up to the top right and click download. Now I want to make this very, very important that you know this, whether you're using Linux, Caddy, whatever. You're going to select your DNS Cloudflare, obviously, because we're using Cloudflare. I also always recommend selecting DuckDNS. Let's say your Cloudflare, certificate or your domain expires, and you don't want to use, Cloudflare anymore. It's good so you don't have to download a new executable for this. So this is, like the exe, the actual file to run Caddy. So just click on DNS Cloudflare and click on DuckDNS Caddy. And then this is very important. Click the download button. If you don't do that, basically your Caddy won't run. I'm using FDM. You can use really whatever you want to download this. I'm just going to put it in my C drive and do it into downloads. And you can leave it. If you download through Chrome, it probably won't let you rename it. So I'll just download this as what it's called. It's obviously downloading. And we're going to go into show in folder. And we're going to rename this just Caddy. Remove all that and just name it Caddy. And we're going to control X to cut it, or you can right click and click cut. And we're going to go to C drive. I always make a new folder called tools. And we're going to name it Caddy. So just for examples, I'm going to make a new folder called Caddy 2. You can name it just Caddy. And we're going to paste that executable in there. Right? Now that we have that, we're going to have to make a new file, and we're going to make it, you can either do this in Sublime, which I always recommend, or you can do it in Microsoft Notepad. Just as you know, if you do use Notepad, it's a little bit more complicated. Let me find the Notepad real quick. Notepad. So if you do Notepad, just for reference, you're going to name it, we're going to paste our config in here, which is again going to be on my docs site. So we're going to go to docs.demonwarrior, go to examples, Caddy examples, and we're using Cloudflare. So we'll copy this one if we're going to use Jellyfin. Obviously, you can change any of these, Nextcloud, JFA Go. These can be changed though. And if you want to use multiple, you just do the same thing, copy and paste it over. So let's say I have subdomain 8096 and I want to use JFA Go as well. For that same domain, I just do subdomain 2. I'll show you how to do a multiple domain on this as well. Once you have that, we're just going to copy and paste that code in here. My domain I'm going to use is going to be called, it's going to be a Demon Warrior Tech. So let's do Jellyfin dot, and then we're going to do demonwarriortech.com. This will be your domain, so the domain that you register with Cloudflare, which I'll show you how to do in a quick second. And then your Jellyfin is your subdomain, and obviously .com or .stream, whatever your ending tail is. Next, my Jellyfin runs on a different PC. So this is good information. If it's running on your local Windows, you just need to do 127.0.0.1 colon and then the port of your Jellyfin. But since mine's running on a different PC inside my internal network, meaning inside my home, I want to type that IP in. So to figure that out, I'm using Unraid, so if I go to my Unraid, which would be 158, and I go to Docker, I can check what the internal one is by going to my Jellyfin, clicking on Web UI, and see it's 8097. So we can just copy this part right here. If you're on Windows and you know a different Windows machine, another way to do this is to go into your terminal or PowerShell, and if you type in ipconfig, just like this, it'll spit out a bunch of information. You'll want to go to your Ethernet adapter, or if you have a Wi-Fi adapter, you want to go to that, and you want this IPv4 address, and the first one. Not this is your default gateway. You want the IPv4. So if I were to use this machine for my Jellyfin, I would do 192.168.1.111, but I'm not. I'm using a different PC, so I'm gonna do this. Next, we can just click save just for now, and we still need to put one more thing in here. We'll get to that in a second when Cloudflare. So to do this, we have Jellyfin. So we're going to rename this capital C, Caddy file, no extension, and we're going to select save type, all files. And it's going to save it as a Caddy file, no external tag. You don't want any dot, anything on the end. So you want to make it just Caddy file. I'll show you what it'll look like in a second. We're going to go Caddy here, click save. And sometimes it'll do this where it will save it as a .txt. All you have to do is just go over here, click on delete, and click yes. And now it's named correctly. We want it just to be named Caddy file. So once we do that, we can reopen it with the notepad. And we're going to go into do our Cloudflare stuff now. So let's do that. I'm going to go into here, on there. I'm going to go into here and go to cloudflare.com. And you're going to want to log in. Now, if you have not made an account, it's really simple. You can either click sign up right here or click continue with Google. If you have a Google account, I'm going to log into mine. Again, this is going to be blurred, so you won't see it. And I have two-factor authentication, so let me get that done. Hold on one sec. So once you're in here, you're going to see this screen. You're going to go to your domain. Okay, so if we don't already have a domain here, we want to do two things. So mine is on. So I actually don't use Namecheap, but it'll be the same kind of setup for each one. You want to click on either DNS, and then we're going to want to go into name servers. And as you see, I already have the Cloudflare name servers. Yours will be default. So you can get these by if I click on Demon Warrior Tech, and I scroll down. Not that. You'll see under DNS records that I'll have the name servers right here. So I'll click on these two name servers and paste them in there. As you see, they're already the same. Or a change, just click change, and I'll use my own name servers, and you'll type in the Cloudflare name servers. That should link your domain to here. Once that's done, it may take up to 24 to 40 hours for those name servers to fully propagate. So usually it's within a couple of hours, but if something doesn't happen within 48 hours, that's when you should start looking into it. But now we're going to add a record. So we're going to add a record. We got an A name record, okay? And this is standard for any domain. This is to point your domain to your hosted, your local basic IP address. To find this out, you can go to ipchicken.com, and I'm gonna reboot this so that my router, because I have a dynamic one, so this should change, so it's not affected. But use this current IP address and click copy. And as you see, I already have this one in here, but you can just click on this and paste. And then you type in the IPv4 address. You're going to type in your domain name. So it's going to be demonwarriortech.com. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't do that. Do this for the domain name and your IP for the IPv4 address. I apologize. We're going to disable proxied, and we're going to click save. Save. And I can delete this, I guess. All right. And now that that is done, we can make a CNAME. So this is going to be what's in our Cloudflare. So, or in our Caddy file. So as you see, I have a jellyfindemonwarriortech.com. Click add a record, CNAME, and we're going to do jellyfin, and we can just do an @ symbol here to copy the full qualified domain, and click save. And now I have a CNAME. Now to link this is where the Caddy file comes in. So now that we have jellyfin.demonwarriortech and it registers to this, we need the API key to link it to Cloudflare. So to do this, all we need to do is go into Overview on the left-hand panel and scroll down and click Get API Create a Token. Scroll down the bottom, you'll see Create a Custom Token. And we're just going to name this Jellyfin. You can name it anything. I'm naming this because I already have one called Windows or whatever. We're going to do Zone, and we're going to do Zone, and we're going to do Read. And we do Zone, Edit. I'm sorry, Zone, and do Edit this time. And you can select it to specific zone. Let's say I want to do a certain domain. I do Demon Warrior Tech. Or if you just want to do all zones, it'll go for everything. But I'm just going to do Demon Warrior Tech for now. This is going to get deleted anyways after I'm done with this, so I don't have to worry about it having issues. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is going to be zone, I'm sorry, DNS. And then this is going to be edit. So we have zone, zone read, zone, DNS, edit. We're going to click continue and create. I'm going to copy this token, and in this you're going to have DNS space Cloudflare space and then your DNS, your API key. Let's say I want to make another one for, let's say, another domain. Let's say JFA.demonwarriortech, or let's say I want to do image, right? Let's do photos.demonwarriortech.com. If I want to do another one like this, let's say I want to do a second subdomain. I just copy and paste this in here and just do photos for image. And I just change this to my image, which if I go to my server is going to be 2282. We'll add that in there. And that should be all that's needed. And now this will do, now I just need to, if I want to do a second subdomain, let's go into our browser and we'll go back in here. We'll go back to the start and we'll go to Demon Warrior Tech and we'll click on DNS. And for every extra domain you want to use, you just click CNAME. And we'll make this one photos and then the @ for Demon Warrior Tech. Disable proxy, click save. And now we have a second CNAME for photos. So now all we have to do is run the command. So we click save. I'm sorry, there's two other steps we have to do. Sorry. We're going to go into our router now, and we're going to port for it. So 192.168.1.1. This will vary depending on your router or destination. To find this, just type ipconfig. And now this is where we want our default gateway. This will be our router essentially. So as you can see, this is my router. I'm going to log in Verizon Fios. I'm on 5G. We click Advanced. We go to Network Settings. We go to an IPv4 address distribution, or I'm sorry, port configurations. Right? No. Hold on. It was right. I'm sorry, Security and Firewall, port forwarding. And I already have my ports open for this, but we're going to do it again just to show you. So we're going to do application is going to be HTTPS. This can essentially be made anything you want to make it. It's just the naming for it that it shows. Like, so if I want to find my Xbox, that's my Xbox port. I want to find my COD or Plex, that's my port. So we just type in the port now. We want 443. You're always going to do TCP for these, both of these. And we're going to select our Windows computer, again, if you don't know it, or where you're going to select the device that Caddy is running on, essentially. So that, for me, is this computer. To find this again, you just type ipconfig, and we're going to want this IPv4 address right here. Next, we're going to do 443 as the forwarding port and the original port. And schedule, we'll just set it to always and add to list. Now, I already have it added, So as you can see right here, I have 192.168.111.443. The next one we're going to do is HTTP. Do 80 and 80. This is going to be our HTTP port and add to list. Same exact configuration settings. The other one, TCP and always. Then with Verizon, you have to click apply changes, and it should then apply these changes. So you can add as many as you want to the list. When you're done, if you don't click apply changes, it won't set it. Once that's done, we can check to make sure it's open. It should be instant. So we're going to go into 192, or I'm sorry, we're going to go into portchecker.co. And as you can see, this is my external IP. It should automatically pull it. If not, you can click use current IP. And we'll check 80. As you see, it's open. 443 we'll check. And that one's open as well. Now, if it's closed, that means two things. It means you either have your ports are blocked by the firewall, which I'll show you how to fix in a second, or you have a CG NAT IP, meaning you cannot port for it. Now, most countries aside from the US, if you do have CG NAT, most ISPs will upgrade you to a static IP for a small charge of between 1 and 10 USD. This isn't the case for everywhere, but again, most of those European and other countries aside from the US will do that for a small charge. The US kind of doesn't do that. They're weird about it. Now, if you have a dynamic IP, we will also have to set up a DDNS, which I have a video on if you guys would like, using Docker. That's the easiest one I've found to do, but we can again go over this at a later point in time, and I'll reference the video in the description. If any of you do have a dynamic IP that constantly changes, the only difference between a dynamic IP and a CG NAT is you can port forward with a dynamic, you cannot with a CG NAT. With the static is the best option you could ever want for an ISP because you'll never have to have an issue with blocked ports. Now, some ISPs will also block ports. One way to figure that out is to go onto your ISP's homepage or look up on Google My ISP, i.e. Comcast, port forwarding, or Comcast CG NAT, or Comcast Dynamic IP. This will tell you if you have an external IP or not. You can always also ask your ISP if you have an external IP. So, just as an FYI. Once we see those are open, if you still see they're closed, this is going to be another way to open it. Go to Firewall in your Windows search bar, and we're going to want to, we're going to go click on the Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. And under Inbound Rules, we're going to make a new rule, and we're going to do Port as a selection, and Next. And we're going to type in our port 80, 443, and 2019. That's because 80 is HTTP, 443 is HTTPS, and 2019 is the Caddy. Click Next. Then we need to click Allow the connection, and we can just leave these default, and we'll just name this Caddy. Okay. I'm going to remove this because I already have, I think, a Caddy port forward on here. Let me double check. I already have a Caddy port forward. So I'm going to remove this just to not have any more issues. Now on first run, you're going to get a message. Let's save this first, so Control S and exit out of this. I think I forgot something here actually. Hold on. Oh no, I got everything there. Okay. So once we do that, we're going to go and find this folder. So I'm going to Control C, and we're going to do CD and CD into that directory. So now we're in the Caddy2 directory. And then we're going to do Caddy, or we're going to do ./Caddy run --config Caddy file. And this is going to run the executable with the ./, and then run the config Caddy file. Now I already have it running, so I'm going to pause it real quick. Let me go into there. I have it running, I think, on NSSM. Cancel that. NSSM stop Caddy. All right. And now if I run it here, as you see, we get this permissions to allow Caddy, so we'll click allow. And it's running the executable, and it might take a minute. As you see, it pulled both our domains. It's running the challenge, so we'll wait for that to finish. If you have any issues with seeing like error codes, you'll see that it'll say like error with red text or something. Seeing this Caddy format override is fine, it's totally fine. It may take up to 10 minutes to fully propagate, but you'll see once it's done, validation succeeded, TLS obtained, so it's obtaining the key right now. Now it's obtained my jellyfin key. I got the cert, so that's good. Keep running. It's releasing the lock, which is good. I'll come back once it's done. All right, so once you see this message right here, the TLS obtained, releasing lock, we can try it out. So we'll try out jellyfin.demonwarriortech.com. There we go. It loads. Now if I want to load it in, I'll just log in my user. Again, I'll blur this out so you guys don't see. And I'm in. And let's try the same for our image. We named it photos, right? Photos.demonwarriortech.com. And our demon warrior loaded there. So that worked. So now you've successfully reverse proxied your domain using Cloudflare and Caddy. If you guys have any questions, I almost forgot. If you want to set up auto executing your Caddy at boot, we can set up NSSM, which is really simple in my docs. I actually posted them on the docs exactly how to do it. But I'll show you in this video as well how to do it as well in case you guys want to set it to auto start on boot. So from my docs, we're going to go to NSSM and we're going to download that zip. And I already have it, but that's fine. I'll overwrite it. We'll go into this and we'll extract the, we'll go into the folder, go to Win64 and copy that out into our C tools, and we'll just put it in NSSM folder. I think I already have one. Check. Yeah, we'll just do NSSM2. You can name it whatever you want, NSSM or whatever you want. All right, once that's in there, we now need to make it executable. So we're gonna go and give it permissions to use an execution. So we're gonna go to environment variables, and right here, environment variables. You just type in EMVIR, and it should be the first thing that pulls up. And we're gonna go to the second system variables and go down to path, and we're gonna click on the bottom, and we're gonna click browse, and we're gonna go to this PC, see where we put our NSSM, which is in tools. We named it NSSM2, and click OK, and OK, and OK again, and OK again. And now when we run NSSM, it should run. So we'll do NSSM just to see, and see we got the service. It shows these configs for the service. So now to install the service, we do NSSM install Caddy, and it pulls this up. We're going to select our Caddy install, which is right here, and we're going to do the argument run --config Caddy file, and click install service. Since I already have one called Caddy, we'll just name it Caddy2. And now if we run it, so we do NSSM start Caddy. Oops, not that one. Start Caddy 2. So if you get that, it means Caddy service is already running. So we do stop Caddy, and then we should be able to start. So now we can able to start. So you can only have one Caddy instance running on one Windows machine. So if that's the case, since I had, even if you're running it in PowerShell right here, like let's say I run Caddy in here. Let's do cd c/tools Caddy 2, and do NSSM. Or I want to do Caddy ./caddy run dash config caddy file. As you see, you get this load error config because it's already running on the service. You only have one service running of Caddy on one machine. So once that's running, we can check now to see if it still runs. So let's go into photos.demonwarriortech. Let's try this. Hold on. Make sure I get this paused. Let's try pinging it. There we go. As we see, now it's running. And it's running as a service as I'm not running any PowerShells other than these. So now you've gotten Caddy successfully running with image. And on a auto start. So if I reboot it, it'll basically load on boot. So to check this, if we go into services and we go to Caddy 2, as you see, it's set to run at startup automatically. So we know it's set now. And if we want to remove it, all we have to do is do Caddy NSSM remove Caddy 2. And it'll remove the service. And as you can see, it will no longer work. Might take a second. It's pulling off cache. Still running. Let's try this. Let's try stop. Caddy 2. There we go. We'll do remove Caddy 2. Yes. Remove service. Yes, remove. Okay. Now we'll try running my regular one. All right. There we go. So yeah, if you ever want to have any more tutorials, let me know. Questions or concerns, again, leave a comment in the description. I can also put all these up on my GitHub or my doc site. I'll leave in the description a tutorial on how to use Docker to select a DDNS to auto update your IP if you have a dynamic IP. And guys, leave a comment, rate me, let me know how I did. If you guys have any questions or concerns or want future videos, give me some ideas. I'm always willing to make some. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and hope you enjoyed.